I really wish I didn't have to do this, but I have to go back to Australia. Let me explain. So my journey in Paris has been pretty chaotic, to say the least. At the start of the year, I wasn't even sure if I really wanted to stay in Paris. I had just completed a 4-month contract in a pretty cramped, grim place in Levallois-Perret, and not for a lack of trying, I couldn't find another place to live. I saw a place in Saint-Denis and I got rejected for it. I saw another place which was my dream apartment and I got ghosted for it, and I ended up taking a place far west in the suburbs of Paris. And while the place was pretty nice, the location just really wasn't cutting it for me. It was a 10-minute walk to get to the nearest RER station, and then you had to go to La Défense, and then you had to change again probably to get to wherever you wanted to be. So it took about an hour for me to get anywhere I wanted to in Paris. And it felt super isolating, especially as someone new to the city and especially in the dead of winter. It felt like after all the trouble I went through to try and make things work here, I had nothing to show for it. Cut to day 2 of 2025, and I got a reply from the guy I thought ghosted me, who said, I got the dream apartment. So I moved in and suddenly everything started to fall into place. I love my apartment, which I'm in right now. I love the area that I live in, really enjoying my freelance work, which is great and super stable. I love the friends that I've made. I love just this pace of life. So I went from, I don't really know if I want to stay here and nothing is working out, to everything is working out and I definitely want to stay here. So let's make this work. Let's make this life in Paris work. So that's where Operation Lachan Stays in Paris begins. I had a couple options. Plan A was to stay here on a Profession Libérale visa, which I'm now eligible for since moving here. And my backup plan was to apply for a master's program here in Paris, which I did in February, filed all my applications in February, and I got rejected for all of them. Every single one. Which, yeah, I just guess my honors degree from a university ranked 20th in the world just really wasn't good enough for these two universities ranked 247 and 258. They have higher standards. They only accept the top 19. Anyway, so with no backup plan, I went all in on plan A, which is this Profession Libérale visa, which is essentially like a freelancer visa. I'm not going to explain all the requirements for it. And if you do want a video explaining how to get this visa, you're on your own. This is way too complicated for me to explain in a YouTube video. Yeah, it's not happening. It's just not happening. If you want it, pay me. I'm not even kidding, but I'm not doing it for free. So one thing with this visa application is that I really don't want to go back to Australia because it's very far, it's very expensive to go. And it's just, if I can avoid it, I will avoid it. I will take the steps necessary. So on the France Visa website, which is an official government website, literally france-visas.gouv, looks like a scam website, but that's the official website that you go to when you want to find information about these visas. And on the website, it says you can apply for this visa in France if you have a long stay visa, which technically my permis vacances travail is. So I thought, okay, great. So let's go through this visa application process. If I do this, I can file the application from inside France, not have to go back to Australia, and all is good. I just have to file it within the deadline, which I thought was within the last 2 months of my visa expiring. But I found out with 2 months and 1 week left on my visa that it was actually at least 2 months before the expiry of your visa, which gave me a week to get together absolutely everything, which was the most stressful week of my life. But I was getting everything together, which was a load of different things. This is not going to be a comprehensive list, but it included a business plan, a whole load of forms, passport photos, proof of income, letters, all sorts of different things. I was getting all of that together, and then I was looking at how to apply. This is one thing with these visas, is the hardest thing about applying for this visa is finding out what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. Because none of this information is centralized, which is kind of why I made the Canada visa video in the first place. The Canadian website sucks. There is an opportunity here for France as well. With this visa application, I saw that there was a website called ANEF, which is an online platform that handles all French visa applications from within the country. So to register for an account on this website, you have to enter your current visa number, which I did, and immediately got an error. And my first thought was, oh, it's just France with their shitty systems that don't work. Let me just email them and see if I can just mail everything physically directly, which is what a lot of friends told me to do. So I find the contact details from my prefecture and I type up an email saying, hey, I'm on this visa and I'm applying for this visa. This site didn't work. Can I just mail everything to you directly? And they replied in 3 days, point blank, just cited the law. Conformément à la loi article 3.3, je pense, avec l'accord de permis vacances-travail entre France et Australie, aucun changement de statut pour les Australiens. No way to change status. Nothing. It was like in all caps. And yeah, basically said there is no way to change status here and you have to go home. There is no way. And the thing is, if this was like a generic government response or something, I could be like, maybe I can just mail everything and just like see if this works. But this was literally the prefecture. These are the actual people who will be processing my visa application. If they're citing the law against me, it's done. I have to go back. And this was back in June, and yeah, it was, I knew this was a possibility. I managed to get around it before because I did have residency in the UK last year when I applied for my visa for here. So I used that in London in order to get here and avoid going back to Australia at that point. But I don't have that residency anymore, so I can't use that. I don't have any residency anywhere else, so I don't really have a choice but to go back to Australia, which sucks. I know this is normal to do for visa applications, but it's just a much bigger deal for Australians when you live on the other side of the world and flights are always expensive versus just hopping across the Atlantic for a quick trip to NYC or taking the train to London. It's different. When a setback like this happens, I always find the best course of action is immediate action. So that's what I did. I spent 2 hours on Google Flights and it wasn't cheap, but I did find the cheapest possible way to get back to Australia, which ridiculously is 2 one-way flights. Not a return, 2 one-way flights with 2 different airlines. One airline I've never heard of to get there and another airline I've never heard of to get back. Will I survive? You'll find out, or there'll be radio silence, who knows. I'm leaving in the middle of August on the last day of my visa. I'm leaving from Amsterdam and then going to Sydney. About a week after that, I have a visa appointment for the same visa. So I have to spend an extra 1,000 euros, more or less, just to do the exact same visa application. And then spending around like 4 or 5 weeks there and then coming back to Paris. I just booked everything because I was 2 months out and it would be cheaper to do it then and just hope everything works out than buy everything really last minute. They say maximum 3 weeks to process. I saw some Reddit posts. One guy in Canada said he got his approved in about 9 days. I have like 4 weeks after my visa application until the flight back. So just to give me like a week of buffer just in case of anything. And yeah, hopefully I come back here, which is extremely stressful because I've lived abroad for the last 8 years. And I have never like left a country and left all my stuff here and also been without visa status here while I'm away and just hope everything works out, because that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just so committed to making this life in Paris work. It was enough of a nightmare to move my stuff around Paris. It was enough of a nightmare to move my stuff from London to Paris, which I will make a video about. I just finished up writing my business plan. I'm feeling really confident about my application. It's just that period. I'm trying not to stress out about it, but I just can't help but get stressed about this gap, this period where I'll be in Australia and I won't know if I get approved or not. Hopefully it ends up like my last visa application to France. I got it! With probably the same amount of shock, I'd assume. It feels like a massive risk, but after 8 years living abroad, trying to find a place that feels like home, I think I finally found that place. It's here. It is a nightmare to get your life started here, but once everything is settled and set in, yeah, I really love it. I really enjoyed this last, mostly like 6 months, let's be real. It took some time for it to get going, but now I feel like I'm in a flow. I feel like I can thrive here, personally, professionally, everything. And yeah, I want to be part of this project. Out of all the cities I've been to, Paris is the one that every time I come back, it gets better. And that's very rare to find around the world. So Yeah, I think that's everything. And before anyone asks, and there's always someone in the comments, yes, I do know my hair is super long, I'm growing it out. Mostly so I can do that, but it's just a face. It's just a face. I'll probably get it cut before I get my visa photos done. But yeah, just addressing the elephant in the room. So that's a quick update on my life right now. What's probably gonna be the most stressful trip of my life. Wish me luck. If you're a French consulate employee watching this video, hi. Approuvez-moi s'il vous plaît? S'il vous plaît. So as the video title says, I am going back to Australia and leaving Paris, but not permanently. I hope it's not permanent. We'll see, I'll find out in a month or so. But this is definitely not a trip that I want to make. That's for sure. I'd rather have €1,000 more in my pocket, to be honest. Please like or dislike the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And also, if you have any ideas of what I should do in Paris/France over these next less than 3 weeks, let me know. I am always open to ideas. I'm gonna be riding with the Tour de France on the weekend, which will be super cool. Not really riding with the Tour de France, but riding the route of the Tour de France as they come into Paris, which is sick. I've been watching it for the last 3 weeks, so I think that's gonna be super cool. I'm really excited for that. Not YouTube vlogger excited, but like actually genuinely excited for that race. I fixed out my bike. It's been falling apart recently. I repaired everything myself and everything is ready to go. Let's bring it on. And subscribe, of course. If you've been following me on Instagram and watching my stories, you probably know either all of this story or fragments of this story, but here it is in a nice succinct-ish YouTube video. I always post updates on there as I go, as I never really know when I'll do updates on here, but I really like this format of just little short bite-sized updates as opposed to the normally longer, grandiose story arc type update videos that I tend to do. I put a lot of effort into those videos and I don't really think it's worth the effort that I put in. So I kind of prefer these little bite-sized chunks. Bite-sized updates. You can just follow me as I go. Like my stories, like my Instagram stories. Follow me on there. It's probably the best way to keep up to date with anything. Also, I have quite a lot of free time in Australia. I'm probably gonna do one trip as I wait for my passport to come back post-visa application. Let me know what you wanna see from me, either specific to Australia or just in general, open to ideas. Now that I've mostly prepared these visa documents, which took a lot of my time, I do have more time to make these videos aside from work. Honestly, I feel like I've put more work into this visa application than I did my honors thesis. It is insane how much stuff I have had to gather for this. So yeah, less than 3 weeks left in Paris. I'm gonna go to Australia for my new visa. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. The outcome of which I have no idea what it will be. The sun out.